the fabulous artist responsible for this site-specific commission. So with that, I'll hand it over to Janelle Iglesias.
Yes. Thanks everybody for coming to learn more about the project. It's like totally a labor of love. Let's see where to start. Okay, I actually just wanted to read a James Baldwin quote to get us started because I feel like artists build upon the lineage of other artists and other makers. For nothing is fixed forever and forever and forever. It is not fixed. The earth is always shifting. The light is always changing. The sea does not cease to grind down rock. Generations do not cease to be born, and we are responsible to them because we are the only witnesses they have. The sea rises, the light fails, lovers cling to each other, and children cling to us. The moment we cease to hold each other, the sea engulfs us and the light goes out. It's a James Baldwin quote. So I really wanted to think about this as a place to hold us and hold space for convening with each other and also for convening with this place specifically in Pacific Highlands Ranch. And so the courtyard was really thought about as a place to link this current library in the present to libraries of past. And so that's why the tiles are made out of terracotta, linking it to some of the oldest libraries, which were made out of clay tablets. Those clay tablets were inscribed with a kind of cuneiform script. And so that's why this was a technique that was chosen to make these in a kind of low relief, right? As a kind of inscription into the tile. It was also really important that the project have a bit of a tactile quality to it and that it was accessible to people in different ways depending on what kind of accessibility they had to the space. The tile set is about 26 letters of the Latin alphabet with some punctuation. I think we have an enya and we have an accent mark in there and we have a blank space. Most of the words that are embedded into the wall are standalone words, but there are a few phrases, and they're meant to both match the kind of orientation that you are in relationship to in the space, and also to like really connect to this specific place in a specific library. So by that, I mean the specific kind of garden that we have here, the tree that's in the planter and the plants that are in the planter are reflected in the plant names that are embedded into the ground and embedded on the planter itself. If you're sitting over there in the shade, you might be sitting on top of the word shade in a different language. If you're thinking about or looking up at the sky today, this whole wall links to words that relate to the sky, both during the daytime and during the nighttime. So there's the phases of the moon, weather patterns, things like a rainbow can be seen over the arc of the arched passageway, the constellations in the sky. And those are all things as well that link back to different traditions, different histories, different cosmologies that are communicated in English and Spanish and in Ipaya, which is the Kumeyaay dialect that we're drawing from for the project. I worked with several different cultural consultants on the project who were completely essential to making this happen. The folks at the Barona Museum were amazing. If you've never been there, it is fantastic. They have such beautiful cultural exhibits. They have their own library. It's a great place for research as well. And they have a language preservation team that were very generous in generating words and looking at words and creating translations for those words. I worked with Martha Rodriguez, Ana Gloria Rodriguez, who's an amazing Kumeyaay community member who runs the Kosai Market in Old Town, but also like fearlessly is advocating for Indigenous rights in this area. She's an amazing powerhouse. I worked with Michael Miskwich, who is the author of a book on Kumeyaay cosmology, and he really helped me identify the kind of celestial bodies and constellations that were important to their community of knowledge around cosmology, around finding one's place in the world. And so the wall back here is a bird wall. It's like you can go bird watching in the courtyard, and those are all local birds. If you look up at the top left corner, you can see a hummingbird kind of lingering over there at the top. And the thought is that you might be sitting here underneath a tree and a hummingbird might come into the courtyard, right? As you enter the library are about different forms of learning. So over the doorway, it says, open the door, ask a question, what will you learn today? And that's also a door for the staff and the librarians. So thinking about librarians being available to answer our questions and help us learn. The words on this wall also have to do with community and accessibility. So they welcome people to the library and they point out all the people in our community that might be taking part in this community and really taking advantage and being able to use this library. So our friends and our neighbors and our visitors, our elders, our children, our kin, our chosen family are all included on that wall. And this is the friends of the library right here as well, trying to reflect that. And then in the floor are words that reflect our relationships to land. So thinking a lot about reciprocity, thinking a lot about nurturing. There's also words that are reflecting native plants to the area in 3 different languages. And then words that you'll find depending on what direction you're walking. So all the directionality of the tiles, they kind of switch sometimes. And that's because sometimes you'll be reading them this way, and sometimes you'll be reading them as you walk that way. So the hope is that as you return and you continue to return to the library week after week, year after year, you might discover unfolding new patterns, new words, new curiosities. There will be plans available of the complete project so that you can see all the languages will be in different colors. They'll also have translations so that you can learn about the words themselves and what the translations are and kind of dig deeper into that. It's been really like an amazing source of curiosity and education for me, this project. I learned all about ethnobotany. I went birding and learned all about, birds. I learned about different cosmologies and the ways in which different constellations are known in different ways and have different myths around them, right? I learned a lot about how libraries work and all the different people that are part of them to make them happen. I talked to a lot of librarians about their challenges, their aspirations, their hopes, the communities that they serve, the different needs that they're trying to meet. And so it's my hope also that the courtyard and the library can be a kind of catalyst for future programming in different kinds of ways that, for a little kid who's learning the alphabet, they can run their finger over the triangle and the letter A and find all the A's that are here. For somebody that's studying plants, and plant magic, they might find some of that in the courtyard. Or somebody who's here with their best friend might find a word about their relationship on the wall as well. So it's my hope that as people return to the library, they'll kind of have a sense of discovery, of a kind of unfolding of information and words that hopefully inspire our curiosity and our capacity to hold space with each other. So thanks for coming and listening, everybody.